Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's Sunday, January 6th. This is the first real broadcast of 2019. And we had our partial solar eclipse yesterday, which I must say was so interesting because so many things really. I was listening to Lotta's weekly and literally so many things that she was talking about for me directly. Hello, everybody. Started happening. But anyway, so I just want to say this. I want to thank everybody. I've felt such a warm welcome from y'all, and it's just been so fun to be able to be with you. So I thought I'd just jump right. Oh, you know what? Before I jump into it, I want to say this. When I do these readings, guys, I don't think of these as predictions. I think of these as the angels giving you advice for how to move through your week as you swim through these transits, your personal transits, the collective transits. So I don't really think of them as predicting. I think of them as advisory. I guess I'll put it that way. Okay, so let's start off with Aries, as always, because if I go out of order, I'll miss somebody. I think we all need a little advice. Okay, so in the foundational position, our first angel is Desiree. The second is Archangel Michael. The third is Grace and Antoinette. And the final is Seraphina. Okay, guys, Desiree is a card that talks about caution, but she's not talking about danger caution. She's talking about looking deeper into the situation so that you can not be reactionary, that you can make deliberate decisions. Sometimes when we find ourselves in a challenging dynamic, we want to take immediate action. And sometimes that immediate action is not really going to serve us because Archangel Michael's in the opportunity or the obstacle, and he's asking you to have courage and to call upon your guides and your angels to support you, to comfort you, and to help you have that sense of compassion, because I have Grace and Antoinette in the angel's advice. So my second and my third positions are, again, the advisory parts where the angels are telling you how to deal with the situation. So Grace and Antoinette talks about having compassion, looking at things from another's point of view. I want to say this, in this challenge that I've been going through this last end of the year kind of idea, I've had a tendency to throw everybody into one collective, not making them the enemy, but thinking everybody sort of has the same attitude. And I think that's what Desiree and Grace and Antoinette were asking me as an Aries rising to look deeper. There's other dynamics going on. Not everybody is in charge and creating disruption, because in the final position, I have Seraphina, and Seraphina talks about having a happy change to your family. It can usher in a new baby, but I don't really think that's what's going on this week, considering that Desiree is in the foundational position. So that's what I'm trying to say is if you've been experiencing disruptions, if you've been experiencing challenges that make you kind of think everybody's acting like a jerk, it may not be everybody. It just may be the powers that be, and then the other people are just foot soldiers doing what they need to do because that's their job. So I want to say overall, again, this has been an eclipse week. So, lots of fated events will take place. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with your reactions. If you find yourself getting hot, I think this is the week that Mars goes into Aries. So you may feel really wanting to take action. But remember, when you're going to take action, do so from a calm mind. Calm heads prevail. Okay, let's go on to Taurus. All right, Taurus. Okay, what do we say here? All right, our first angel is Francesca. The second is Vanessa. The third is Archangel Michael. And the final is Sonia. This is kind of lovely. So Taurus, I want to say, Francesca talks about visualizing what you want, that negativity will block your progress. I don't really think about, I don't want to be positive or negative, because actually I believe that when I'm trying to be positive, when I have a fear or a trepidation, I'm actually resisting the negativity. So I kind of want to acknowledge, all right, I have a fear about this, or I feel funky about this. But then I want to ask God and the angels to help me to have the sight to see things from a more faithful place, because that's what Vanessa is offering Taurus this week, is to make their decisions based on faith rather than fear. Faith doesn't always tell us how it's going to show up. It doesn't always tell us where the money's going to come from, where the dynamic will be, where the opportunity will be. But having that faith is like a beacon to God and the angels to help you manifest that idea. I have been told over and over again that everything that we manifest starts with a being energy. It is what I believe about my the dynamic. It's what I believe about myself in the dynamic. It's my attitude, my disposition as I go into my action. Oftentimes, and me being a Taurus moon, when I was younger, I wanted to just jump into action without really paying attention to what was the platform for my action. If it's based on fear or in any way feeling compromised, lacking my that sort of that faith that the Vanessa offers, where you can stand tall in your faith. Because the final position, or in the final position, I have Sonia. So Taurus, Sonia is talks about a message from a deceased loved one saying that they're in heaven and happy and safe. But as a collective, when I'm talking to this many people, I think this is as your spirit guides, your angels, those that watch over you, your team. So as you turn over whatever challenges you feel in visualizing what you want to manifest to your guides, to your angels, and say, thank you for giving me the experience to root my faith. And then spirit can start to open things up and start to lay breadcrumbs for your movement forward. Okay, let's go on to Gemini. All right, Gemini. I just saged my cards and I feel like little puffs of smoke are coming up out of them. All right, here we go, Gemini. Okay, our first angel is Maya. The second is Vanessa. The third is Francesca. And the final is Rochelle. Okay, I love this. All right, so Maya is a card of schooling and education. And there may be many people who will go into a traditional dynamic of schooling and education. But for me, this is always about my energetic education. It's about, again, my being energy as I endeavor a situation. Because we have in the same position for Gemini that we did for Taurus, Vanessa in the opportunity or the obstacle. Are you going to base your decisions, your movements, your plans on faith or fear that all your resources, the dynamics you need to move your story forward will indeed take place? Because now we have Francesca in the angel's advice saying that, when I talk about that negativity and positivity, I kind of want to urge y'all to be able to go to how it feels once you have attained the situation, are sitting where you want to be. Because as you can sit in that and as you can feel that, that sends a really strong message to spirit, to source energy, to open up a dynamic for that very thing to come into play, which is what Maya is offering you in your education, in your energetic education. Because the final angel, Gemini, is Rochelle. And Rochelle says, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, the things that I want. And this is not in the exclusion of when we're in families and we're in dynamics of multiple people, it's not about to the exclusion of what they want. It's just about being able to get deep underneath what you think you can want to what you really want, and then allowing that to sort of marinate. I guess I just want to say marinate. It's not about jumping up and having to take action. It's about kind of having to allow yourself to muse on the idea of, if this dynamic came into play and if this very thing were happening, how would it feel? And as you dig into that, oh my goodness, you're going to learn so much about how you direct spirit in your experiences, because we create whether we realize it or not. So that's kind of exciting for for Gemini. Plus, I want to say this too for Gemini. When you adopt this kind of be, do, have, I call it, the be aware of my energy, what is my dynamic, and then I go into my doing, it sends a ripple effect to the people around you. And they're like, how'd you do that? And you're like, I don't know. I just thought I could do it. So I did it. And it's always that, like, start with parking spaces. They're easy. They're easy to manifest. And then you can start to step up your game a little bit. And the more you do that, the more, again, Vanessa will feed your faith, and the more it'll be easier to move forward. Okay, so let's go on to Cancer. Oh, I was going to spread the cards like somebody was here. Okay, Cancer, what is up? God bless our teachers. Okay, Ray is our first angel for Cancer. Indriel is the second. The third is Omega. And the final is Maya. Here we go again. Okay, so Ray on the face of the card, I always kind of think this is peculiar to me. It talks about yoga and exercise being essential to your well-being, to your spiritual growth, but it's Ray is sitting in a meditative position, and she's connecting her power chakra through her third eye, and it's flanked by her heart chakra and her throat chakra, with represented by green and blue stripes. So as she sits in open reception of what she wants, and she connects her power to source energy, to spirit, to God and the angels, she's able to shine her light. So this is what Cancer this week, whatever you're wanting, even if everything is amazing and great in your life, as you send up those beams to spirit and you say thank you and you shine your light, it almost brings this capitalization. It's almost like the 2.0 version, the 3.0 version, the moving exponential. That's the word I'm looking for. It will allow your manifestation to grow exponentially, because I have Omega in the angel's advice is you have victory. Your desired outcome will happen in the near future. Keep up the good work. So that's about keeping up your vibration. And then I have Maya in the final position. This is sort of like, when you throw caution, I say caution to the wind, but that's faith for me. When I say, okay, I'm just going to sit here. I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know where it's going to do, how it's going to play out. I mean, I don't even know how to say it, because the questions are so kooky. But when I just turn it over, spirit literally, I feel like they send me stepping stones. And then I get this little feeling, I need to look in this direction. And then I look in that direction and I'm like, oh, and then they go, look over here and look over here. And I start to trust that inner knowing, that connection. And that's what Maya is offering Cancer. You're already ruled by the moon. You're already sensitive to energetic dynamics as you hone in those skills by literally testing the waters. Okay, Spirit, I think I'm sending you this message. And then allow that 3 times confirmation. License plates, songs on the radio, random animals that cross your path, or elements in nature. Spirit will use anything that catches your eye, and then it will confirm it over and over. But it also has to be to your invitation. So for Cancer this week, open up to spirit, and then keep your eyes open for that confirmation, because the next time you go through a challenging situation, you'll be like, oh, wait, I've been here before. And now all I need to do is this, and then wait to look for an answer, or wait to look for a natural next move, the next right step. Okay, let's go on to Leo. Repeating numbers, I think, are Spirit's favorite way of doing things. For me, 111 is always about, yes, exactly. 111 is a lot about how am I thinking? What am I focusing on? Because what I'm focusing on, I'm manifesting very quickly. I've also had people who tend to see sequences. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, 6. And when I see that, I'm like, oh, so things are happening sequentially and I can relax. And again, I want to tell you this, when you're seeing these signs and symbols from Spirit, if you say to Spirit, when I see 1, 2, 1, 2, then I get this feeling about it. It makes me feel like, and I don't know, whatever Perla feels with 1, 2, 1, 2, then Spirit will then capitalize on that. So it doesn't have to be from some book that you read somewhere else that says this is what it is. That can be the bones, but you can add the meat and the potatoes to it by telling Spirit, this is how I feel when I see this. Okay, here we go. Where am I? Leo. Okay, I forgot where I was for a second. I always seem to reduce numbers down. Like when I look at, Orphan, when I look at your numbers in the chat and I see the 803, that's an 11 to me. You know, when I see 33, it's a master number of the teacher. Interesting. And the 8, the 53 is an 8 to me, which is a number of abundance. So I would say, I don't know about I can't add the 3382 too fast in my head, but I would think that maybe those numbers are saying to you, you know, abundance is coming. Watch your thoughts. You have something to learn about your thoughts. And then the 222s aren't always about coupling with somebody else. Sometimes it's about coupling with my higher self and my ego and my id, because my id is always the one that's going to be like scared and want security and like, and then the ego is going to go, are you sure? And the higher self is always going to say, we're fine. We're good. We're good. Okay. On to Leo, right? Yes, I'm teasing. Okay. So that Naveen, seeing 1221 is interesting to me because that reduces to a 6, right? And the 6 is an interesting number because that's my, technically the 33 reduces down to a 6. So you maybe pay attention to, you know, what does the number 6 really mean for you? The first association I got was the 6th house, you know, about work, about health. But what a lot of people don't talk about with the 6th house in the zodiac is it's also the house of self-improvement. So maybe Spirit is telling you that you are in alignment with how you want to show up in the world, that you are standing in that space of being on the path to where you want to go. I don't know. You'd have to kind of think about it, you know. Again, I want to encourage you all to create your own language. You tell them something means something to you and they will use it. Okay, finally, Leo. Oh, Rochelle, love that. And Isaiah, Athena, and our final angel is Ariel. So Rochelle says, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, prosperity is coming to me. I never think of prosperity as just money. I always think of it as harmonious wealth, sort of this dynamic where I feel like I'm thriving in all the facets of my being, my physical body, my spiritual body, my emotional body, my intimate body, my financial body. You get where I'm going with this. So when we say, or when Rochelle offers, as you follow the guidance of your heart, it's kind of that idea of, I want to experience this certain thing. Because Isaiah is offering you in the obstacle, it's a good time to give birth to new ideas and new situations in your life. That the angels are watching over you as you endeavor these things. In the angel's advice, I have Athena saying it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself towards the dynamic that you want. And then in the final position, I have Ariel. Ariel represents having new psychic and spiritual experiences that change the way you're viewing the world. When they talk about changing the way you view the world, I really think that it's about becoming more faith-based, in that when I put out a directive to source energy, to God and the angels, to the team that works with me in this lifetime, that I'm actually more in alignment with my true self than I am when I'm in the, how am I going to get there? How is it going to play out? What's going to do? You know, I don't know. Can I make it happen? You know, that's so much the human experience, is the how. And I believe the soul incarnates to overcome the how, to know that we are really magical beings. And then this earth plane becomes the most fun dynamic to be in. There's so much richness in the human experience to enjoy in the physical, between physical touch, creation, food. You know, there's so many fun things. We just tend to make it harder than it has to be. Okay, so that's great for Leo. So I want to say this just to round it up. Spirit is saying to really dig deep. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to love in your life? And then give birth to that idea to the point where you can feel the goosies all the way through, and then lovingly assert yourself that way. It's kind of like, you know, it's funny. I don't know why I'm going to use this reference because it's totally random, but some of my clients like to go on the internet, you know, match.com and date that way. If you're going to do that, for me, I always think you should connect with spirit first and say, thank them for the, hi, Mickey. Thank them for the characteristics of the person that you would like to meet. And let spirit get through the internet and through the match.com and start to weed out who would not be appropriate and bring in who would be appropriate. I always feel like before I endeavor anything, I just need to take one quick second and check what it is I want. So when most people are going on a dating site, whether they realize it or not, there's a little bit of a compromised energy. They're thinking, oh, this is hard, or will I find somebody, or what's the guy like, or what's the girl like? So when we're checking into that, then we go, okay, spirit. So I've had this experience where I've dated inappropriate partners or people that didn't work out. Now I'm ready for an appropriate partner. And then going from that dynamic, I think it opens spirit up. And it also gives the person, you, a discerning eye when you move forward. Okay. I don't know why I want to do that random example, but you know, I do what I do. Okay. So let's see what Virgo, what's up for you? All right. So my Virgos. So in the foundational position, I have Opal. Opal is, talks about your children on earth and in heaven are being safe and cared for by God and the angels. But when I'm talking to the potential number of people that could be watching this broadcast, both now and then in the future, I'm going to go to the inner child. Your inner child is safe. It's safe here on earth. It's safe in heaven. And sometimes as we grow up and we get into this 3D world, we start thinking about realism and practicality and Allstate and retirement plans. And, you know, if you really look at the depth of that, it's all fear-based stuff, like that life doesn't support you. So I think what I think Spirit is asking for you this week is, again, to adopt that childlike innocence that says that the world supports me. And then I have Isaiah saying it's a good time to give birth to new ideas and new situations. In the Angel's Advice, I have Grace and Antoinette, which is a card of having compassion and compassion for others. But I really want to have compassion for Virgo because it's hard sometimes for you. You really, you know, again, having that sense of knowing where you're going, having a plan, you like that, you know? So sometimes, you know, kids get in the car, they just get in the car. They don't know where we're going. We're going to Disneyland. We don't know how we're getting there. Because in the final position, I have Merlina. And Merlina is a card of confusion. It's a card of being indecisive. It's a card of having to do more research before you actually endeavor. And so what I think is happening for Virgo is I really don't think that's about research, about like researching a job. I think it's really about looking deeper, as if you're adopting that childlike attitude that says, I could do it. I could be Buzz Lightyear to the moon and back. You know, that's the kind of stuff that manifests, that excitement, that sort of just not listening to the peanut gallery. I don't know how else to put it. And sometimes that peanut gallery is in our own head. So if that happens, then just give yourself a little wiggle room, you know, and then go back and go, you know what? If I was, and I want to say, you know, if my inner child was sitting outside of myself, wouldn't I want her to have all the fun she ever would want to have, or he would ever want to have? And that way, it'll be easier for Virgo to give birth to these new ideas and little baby steps. You don't have to drive yourself crazy. Okay, let's go on to Libra. Okay. What is up with my sun sign this week? I'll tell you, it's been really an interesting couple of end of 2000 for me. All right, all my Libras and Libra rising, Libra moons. Okay, our first angel is Bridget. The second is Teresa. The third is Isaiah. And the final is Desiree. Well, that's not too much fun. All right, I want to say this. This is what I think. Just for this week, remember, these are just week to weeks, okay? So Bridget is a card that says to look deeper into a situation. You know, what's really going on here? Teresa, for me, is a card of worry, where I'm putting a lot of energy into a lot of other things, and I'm worrying a little bit about whether or not they're all going to play out. In the angel's advice is Isaiah saying it's time to give birth to new ideas and new situations, and that God and the angels are watching over and guiding you during this time. And then Desiree is in the final position saying the conditions aren't favorable right now, to wait and to look before you proceed. So I want to say this. So for Libra, and this is me too, this might just be a week where this eclipse gives us an opportunity to sort of reassess things a little bit rather than just jumping into action. And I'll say for me personally, having this disruption that's been going on, there's a little part of me that's been like, you know, wanting to overstate my case, and I don't mean it in a negative way, just because to me, when I'm overstating my case, I may be not having faith in what I'm saying or that people are listening. And I kind of feel like I need to trust the universe more in this respect. That's what Isaiah is saying. Okay, so in the 3D world is the worry and the caution, okay? I'm sorry, not worry. Bridget saying to look deeper into the situation, and Desiree saying don't move forward just yet. Teresa is offering us this energy that says, I don't really need to worry about this right now, because Isaiah is saying, we got you, okay? And as you give birth to the new idea that we got you, then we will lead you rather than Libra trying to push forward. Libra represents justice and balance. And I myself, that's where I'm the most Libran. And when somebody has perpetrated injustice on me, sometimes my Aries gets a little hot. And I guess some of you have seen me be a little bit myself this last couple of weeks. So I really can see how this resonates for Libra this week. It's really more about putting a bigger trust into God, the angels, and faith, and letting yourselves just take this week to not worry about how it's going to play out. Just let it reveal itself. Okay, so let's go on to Scorpio. What is up for Scorpio this week? All right. Our first angel is Rochelle. The second is Akasha. The third is Mystique. And the final is Bethany. Well, this is cool. Okay, so Rochelle talks about, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, prosperity is coming to me. And again, guys, I never think of prosperity as money. The last thing I think of is prosperous as money. For me, to feel prosperous, I'm free to make my own decisions. I have plenty of resources to facilitate those wants and desires. And I really believe that that's what Rochelle offers. Akasha sits in the opportunity, obstacle as a spiritual teacher card, talking about you being able to have the ability to counsel others. I don't necessarily think that's true for Scorpio, but yet I do. I don't think it's because you're to talk and counsel others. Mystique is saying to keep charging ahead, don't take no for an answer, and expect miraculous solutions. To me, that's where the teaching comes. It's where Scorpio's tenacity to move forward, to say, yes, I want this. Yes, it's going to happen. Yes, it's all good. Because Bethany is in the final position talking about taking care of yourself. And she'll talk about getting a massage or a pedicure. But I think that's the bigger thing is what Rochelle offers. It's almost as if sometimes when we as humans get close to our dreams, or we have been creating a momentum of something, and then something we couldn't have expected comes in and it seems so great, we could get triggered into loss. It's really a weird thing. So as we go, whoa, that doesn't have to happen. Rochelle and Bethany offer that to you. And so does Akasha, because as you say, no, you know what? I think I've worked hard for this. I've got a great momentum going. I deserve this. I'm ready for this. And then Spirit will support that. And then you start to feel like you're standing on solid ground. And it isn't because the ground is solid. It's because you're solid in what Rochelle offers you, the prosperity of your heart, what you honor there. Okay, let's go on to Sagittarius. All right, Sag. Okay. Our first angel is Vanessa. The second is Rochelle. Oh my goodness. The third is Ray. And the final is Indriel. Wow, you know, it's funny. I feel like this theme is like this week, it's all about everybody honoring what you want for yourselves. And in that bigger way of looking at what am I wanting something because it's providing a sense of security? Or am I wanting it in an authentic way? Because Vanessa in that foundational position is all about making my decisions based on faith and rather than fear. And fear is a funny little thing because it can creep in and you can think you're making a decision based on faith and it could be fear. A couple of years ago, I created this meditation deck. I called it the Brave Heart Meditation Deck. I was thinking about wanting to help people rather than looking to the cards for an answer, to create a deck that would allow the cards to illuminate an answer within. And then I started to really think about why I was doing it. And I was doing it because I was scared I was getting old and I better have something that, you know, a product of some kind. And, you know, interestingly enough, as I endeavored that deck, and as valuable as I think it is, it didn't really do much or do well. And I think it's because my initial energy was fear-based. I need to create something to take care of me when I'm old, as if the universe isn't going to take care of me because I'm aging. That's not true. Because here's Rochelle. As I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, everything will come to me. And there's Ray. Again, she, you know, I say this, I'm going to repeat myself ad nauseum, but she says, yoga and exercise are essential for my well-being. And at the same time, she's sitting in an Om position, taking her power center, connecting it up through her third eye to spirit and flanking it with her heart and her words to herself that match Rochelle's energy. And then the cool thing about this whole thing, Sagittarius, is that then Indriel says, as you do that, you inadvertently shine your light on the world, which helps other people to make their decisions based on faith. Because sometimes when we don't know, sometimes even when we think we know, we don't know. It's more about that feeling, yes, I can. And as I kind of like a little explorer in my own life, I take a move, I kind of look, okay, what's the next step? And then spirit shows you, and you take the next step, and then it starts to create. And then things start to move quickly. And it's funny because when things start to move quickly, it can trigger fear. Oh no, everything's great. When's the other shoe going to drop? The other shoe doesn't have to drop. And Sagittarius, this is your year. This is your year. So Pisces too a little bit. But so take advantage of it and take advantage of it from that deep place inside of your heart. Let Rochelle lead the way. Okay, let's go on to Capricorn. This was your eclipse, Capricorn. Anybody Capricorn out there? Did you feel anything out there? Okay. Whoop. All right. Here we go. Our first angel is Patience. The second is Opal. The third is Desiree. And the final is Rochelle. Well, isn't Rochelle having a field day on this eclipse week? I guess pretty much the main message for all signs, even if Rochelle did not come up, is to honor and follow the guidance of our heart. Patience for my Capricorns is not about sitting on an egg. It's not about waiting for something. It's really about a time of studying and learning about your energy. Oh, well, happy birthday, Paula. The patience is like, it's almost about, in this instance, the angel Patience represents a time of observing sort of the energetic dynamics so that you can make choices as to what direction you want to move forward. I have Opal in the opportunity of the obstacle saying, your children are safe here in heaven and earth. And to me, again, I'm going to repeat this. Many of you may have children, but I didn't. And I'm sure there's plenty of other people didn't. So I'm going to honor the inner child when we talk about such a huge collective of people. I have Desiree in the angel's advice saying conditions are not necessarily favorable. And then I have Rochelle saying honor as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart. So let me just stop being choppy and try to tell you what I'm trying to say. I think Capricorn is having sort of a clash between what you think you can do and what you have done and what you want to do. So I kind of want to say this, at this moment, don't necessarily try to jump into action, but maybe to use this patience's energy to strategize, visualize, think about, flesh out what it is you want to birth forward, okay? And then your opportunity is to not micromanage it, because that's what Desiree is saying. There's other places, other people, other dynamics that spirit will bring into play. And Capricorn, you may just want to jump into action. You know, you're ruled by Saturn. Hard work makes things happen, but sometimes hard work actually slows down the process. It is the combination of the belief and the faith and the hard work that then turn into manifestation. So in the 3D world, this week for Capricorn, we have patience, a time of learning and studying about your energy, and about following the guidance of your heart at a deeper level, not trying to create security, not trying to, you got to look where you're doing something because you're projecting something out into the future that you find distasteful. That's where I want to go with that. Okay, let's go on to Aquarius. So excited y'all joined me this morning. So fun. Okay. Every time I say Aquarius, I think, oh, how grateful to get off the axis of the eclipses from before. It was really harsh on some of my Aquarius friends. Okay. Our first angel is Indriel. The second is Grace and Antoinette. The third is Omega. And the final is Oceana. Okay. So, Aquarius, Indriel is the light worker card. And I believe, frankly, that every single human being on this earth is a light being, and we are all on some level a light worker. We are energy beings. That's just what I believe we are. So for this week, I think what Spirit is asking for Aquarius is really just to shine your light, the things that you love, to sort of have a joyous anticipation moving forward. I have Grace and Antoinette in the opportunity or the obstacle. And when I first saw it, I didn't even think it was about compassion. It felt a little bit more like maybe my Aquariuses have been working hard because they've been going through so many changes on those eclipses that you're a little worn down and maybe you're getting up your own grill a little bit. Because I feel like I need to have compassion for the journey, because Omega is in the angel's advice. Your victory, your desired outcome is coming in the near future. So if you're a little pooped out and tired, yeah, Paula, then just give yourself a little bit of a break, because you will soon move into action. And in doing so, Oceana is in the final position. So as you allow your light, what you want, when I say shine your light, I'm not talking about going outside and going, shining my light. It's about an interior job of going, what's my deepest truth? What do I really want? What do I really want to experience? Because Oceana offers you the opportunity to take loving action and move that direction at a pace. I don't want to burst forward. I want to just take my time with Omega's energy. Yes, I know this is everything I want, whether it's a relationship, a job, a move, a financial dynamic, all those things can come into play, but I want to say slow and steady wins the race. Okay. So continue to believe, have compassion for the journey, know that you're going to be victorious, and then take action, lovingly assert yourself. This last week, kind of weird things were happening. I kept getting these little weird feelings like, go look out the window or go do this. And when I would do it, something crazy that I needed that would help me in my endeavor was there. So I kind of want to say, Aquarius, I think Oceana somehow is asking you to, if you get a weird hit to go somewhere, take a walk, look under the desk, do it. I don't know. I feel like there's a little Spirit's leading you somehow this week towards the answers to the victory you're looking for that Omega offers you. And be patient with yourself in the sense of, don't get up your own grill if things don't seem like they're happening. Sometimes things are happening and we don't know they're happening because Spirit's taking care of it and we're not. Okay. So let's go. Double dose of Saturn. Oh, I know. But if you love Saturn, it'll be very rewarding. Saturn really, I know Saturn can be a little tough, but it's kind of like Jillian Michaels on The Biggest Loser. She'd like beat people up, work out, and then she'd make them feel so loved. And so that's what I think of Saturn. Okay. All right. Let's go on to our final sign, Pisces. Never least, Pisces is my little lucky. Is he around? I don't know where he is. Okay. All right. Our first angel is Seraphina. The second is Xana. The third is Opal. And the final is Crystal. Okay, so I just have to say Pisces. The very first hit I got is like, your dreams are protected. Things are happening for you guys much more than you might realize. So first angel, Seraphina, she talks about a happy change to my family is coming. Some of you may get pregnant. Some of you may actually have babies. God knows we're in a world audience. But, you know, again, with this collective, I'm always going to see that as my dreams are my little babies. Xana is saying you're protected. All types of harm is behind you right now. That is your opportunity. And then there's Opal saying that your babies are safe in heaven and earth, and God and the angels are watching over them. So those could be your physical babies, but they could be your dream babies, you know, your wants, your desires. I really believe that we as souls come here with many dreams, many things, not just the top 5 that we talk about, career, love, whatever they are. Because Crystal is here and saying, have faith and hope because there's something positive and new on the horizon that you can't see. This is the thing I love about Crystal, because she's kind of a little bit of a prankster, because she seems to always pull something out that you would never expect. It's like a solution that you could not think of. So in many ways, as you adopt the innocence of a child and know that things are shifting in a good way, or that, you know, when we start working really hard at something and we get excited about seeing it start to come to fruition. You know, let's just say that you're a painter. You start off, it's a blank canvas, doesn't look like anything, but then it starts to come together. It starts to come together. And then every once in a while, we will want to overpaint the painting. Stop. I feel like let Crystal do her magic for you, Pisces, this week. Put out, you know that you're being protected. Your dreams are being protected. Your physical being is absolutely being protected. And then kind of like just get excited. That's how I want to put it. Get excited. I think that's it for this week, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the eclipses. Diary, what'd you say? Have faith, mine did. But also want to say this, when you're meditating, guys, okay, I feel like there's various types of meditations as well, too, because there is a meditation where we quiet our mind, okay, and try to connect with source in that respect. Then there's the one where we invite information in, spirit, give me information. And then there's the one where we tell spirit, okay? That's the one we put our rockets of desire up through. I always do it through my crown chakra. And I imagine myself like a movie premiere beam with vacillating. And I thank spirit for all the people who will best be served by my gifts and my talents, by whatever the dynamic is, because that meditation is very, very powerful. Spirit loves when we engage with them. You know, sometimes I think people think that spirit is sort of above us, you know? Like, I'm kind of always surprised when people think that God and Jesus only want to talk to each other. I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of years can they have conversation? They want to talk to us, new things. It's fun. So anyway, all right, that's it for this week. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and joining me. I'm really enjoying this and feeling very loved and accepted in the community. So thank you so much for that. And hi, Turkey. All right, and I'm going to say hi and bye. That's it for this week. I'll be back next week. My name is Teri Hunter. If you'd like to book a session, feel free to go to www.astrolotta.com, and under the Reader's Manual, you'll find me. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.